Thank you very much, Fergal. I'm delighted to be back here today. I was saying to John Carney earlier, it's hard to believe that a full year has passed. I'm just glad that I was able to give the 13 million in that particular year. So it's good to come back not empty-handed within the last 12 months. I know this is your 15th annual NCSE research conference, and I just want to again congratulate you all on the organisation of it. As Fergal said, it does take a lot of work, and particularly Jennifer with all the work that you have done to organise this. Thank you to John Carney and Fergal Lynch for the warm welcome. And I want to welcome all of you individually here today, because obviously the work that you do is very much appreciated by me within your own organisation. It makes my job a little bit easier when the work that you do on the ground makes such a difference. I want to formally congratulate Fergal as well on his appointment to the position of chair, and to thank him for his commitment to guide the organisation forward as it expands and continues to respond effectively and compassionately to the increased need in the area of special education. I do once again want to thank John as well, in particular, for his dedication and his first-class dedication to this, John, since we've been working together, and you do an incredible amount of work with us on a daily basis. And Martina Mannion here, my Assistant Secretary for Special Education, the Department of Education, is here, and she puts in Trojan work on a daily basis as well in this area, and I do want to acknowledge that as your Minister and to thank you for all the work that you do. As I mentioned earlier, the 13 million that we secured for the expansion of the NCSE, and I have been impressed by the significant planning programme undertaken by this organisation today to ensure that it continues to meet the significant and increasing demands that are placed on it in the most effective and efficient way possible. And this has been done in the context of the increased demand for special education service nationwide and the need to plan for the future demand by putting in strong foundations in place to meet the needs of schools, of children, of parents, and to give our children the best possible opportunities for educational, personal and social development. And we will see an increase of over 50% in staffing levels in the NCSE, which will provide an additional 160 staff across all grades and NCSE services areas to further enhance and develop the supports that it provides. And I was particularly pleased to announce the national CNO recruitment campaign last month, and that represents the single largest increase in these essential frontline grades since the establishment of the NCSE, and will result in a significant increase in service capacity levels for parents and schools. And the hard work and dedication of every person within the NCSE is important and recognised by me and indeed by the department. 2024 will be a significant milestone in the development of the NCSE that will build on the excellent work that it has undertaken so far in partnership with my department. And I welcome as well the newly appointed members of the NCSE Council. Their expertise and their distinguished track record will be of great benefit and will lead the organisation forward at a critical time to 2026. And it's important to acknowledge as well, as Fergal mentioned, the significant contribution already made by the outgoing board members, including Joe Hayes, the former chair, which I very much value. The NCSE itself, as you know, is absolutely fundamental to special education provision and indeed the wider education system, and it plays a vital role in the identification, the delivery and the coordination of education services to children with special education needs and their families. And its research function is key in the guidance of policy development in the area of special needs. And again, I want to commend Jennifer Dorn, the NCSE Head of Research, in that regard. The importance of research conferences such as this cannot really be overstated. Research, as we know, plays a vital role in the provision of new information, new ideas and new views, and it verifies and challenges current thinking and practices. It explores new practices and interventions. And most importantly, without research, it would simply not be possible to review existing policies or develop new policies or approaches. It is the key tool that we all rely upon to change the lives of children with special education needs and indeed their families for the better. And developing new and better ways to support children is a department priority. And without the work that the NCSC does with regard to new developments through research, it would not be possible to achieve this. And my department and I are committed to providing a quality, inclusive school and early years education system with improved learning outcomes for all children, and in particular for children with SEN. And the NCSC is of central importance in ensuring that we continue to achieve this really challenging goal. At last year's conference, I referred to the critical importance of having high quality research available to the department as part of the policy making process, and we have to ensure a robust evidence base for new policy directions. And I appreciate the way in which the NCSC has worked to ensure that the outcomes of research undertaken are used as the basis for policy advice submitted to me as Minister for Special Education and Inclusion. And one of the most, or should I say more significant pieces of policy advice prepared and submitted by the NCSC in recent times relates to the future provision in special schools and special classes and inclusive provision in our education system. And I'm delighted that this is one of the key themes of your conference today. And Minister Foley and I, together with officials, are working on this and looking forward to publishing the advice when that work has concluded. What we want and what we've been working hard to ensure is that every child can avail of an education placement that best meets their individual needs. And for some, that will mean a placement, as you know, in a mainstream class with appropriate supports. And for others, it'll mean placement in a special class or a special school. And special schools, in my view, and in most people's views, has long been an essential element of provision, and they will continue to be into the future. And at the same time, I do think it's possible to progress the concept of inclusion. For example, the concept of a campus-style offering where the needs of all students can be met, irrespective of their ability or background. And that's one which inspires me. We know that this approach is being developed in other systems. And for me, that points to the importance again of the need for research. And for many of you in this room, that will equate to academic research. And that's obviously a key and fundamental element of the landscape in this area. However, it also highlights, for me, the importance of the research or study visit. I mean, there's nothing really like seeing the school in action to see the challenges and opportunities that have been developed and addressed in other education systems. And we know the systems where this approach has been developed, and we'll look at these in the context of the NCSC policy advice. I'm also delighted, and Fergal mentioned it as well, that Universal Design for Learning, or the UDL, is a key theme of today's conference. And I'm acutely aware of how important the UDL framework is in facilitating the inclusion of all learners in accessing the school curriculum in a meaningful way by teachers embedding UDL in their teaching, designing lesson plans that are accessible to all learners in any given day. UDL promotes creative approaches, designing a lesson plan and facilitating an inclusive learning environment for all. And it's therefore of utmost importance that the professional development of our teachers is to the fore of supports that we provide to our teaching professionals to ensure UDL is embedded into all educational settings. And it's wonderful that you will have a contribution from North Wicklow Educate Together Secondary School on their experience of this today. So in conclusion, I sincerely hope that you all enjoy the interesting participations and contributions to come in today's conference. And I've no doubt that you will all find it extremely informative as well. I think it's a great opportunity to engage with each other and have that peer support and share your experience and professional insights. Sometimes that can be the best part of the conference, where you're having your own private conversations in relation to what's going on in your own respective spheres. But I would now officially like to open this conference. Go on, good.